Okay, so who here wants a fun speech? I will look elsewhere because you guys aren't getting it from me. No, I kid. So, the majority of people believe that Ebola is new and that it was going to be the end of the world because a lot of people are dying. But actually, Ebola has been around since 1976. According to the CDC, it states that the first outbreak occurred in Yambuku. I'm sorry if I butcher names. And the surrounding areas. The disease was spread by close personal contact and by the use of needles and syringes in hospitals and clinics. The outbreak was the first recognition of the disease. So I am a public health major, so I am always eager to learn about diseases that affect the livelihood and the world. So by learning more about Ebola, I hope that you have a better understanding of the disease and that you take precaution when it comes to traveling and whatnot. And so first I will give you a brief history about Ebola, and then I will discuss the symptoms and the treatment that are available if you do come in contact with the disease, and then I will discuss the preventative options that are available. Okay. So first I will give you some background knowledge. In order to understand the disease, you first have to know where it came from. And according to the Oxford Journal, it states that Ebola started in 1976 in Zaire and Sudan. And there were 318 human cases reported that year, and the death toll was like 88%. That is a huge number. The disease got the name Ebola because it started in the Ebola River by Zaire and Sudan. And the number has not been consistent. It's been like a roller coaster, always going up and down, up and down. So now that we know a little bit about Ebola, let's go to the fun part, symptoms and treatment. If you ever feel like you have a fever or a severe headache, or just even some muscle pain, probably go to the doctor, because those are the most common symptoms of Ebola. According to the CDC, they state that if you ever feel as if you have a fever or stomach pain or a headache or vomiting or unexplained hemorrhaging, you should go get that checked out because that's the most common symptoms. Now, here's some tough love. There are very few treatment options available. There are no FDA-approved vaccines or medicine. So when someone comes into contact with the disease, they are being injected with experimental vaccines and medicine. So that have not been fully tested for safety or effectiveness. So now that we have discussed the symptoms and the treatment options that are available, we will now discuss the way to prevent from getting the disease. Okay. So besides the obvious way of preventing, not getting Ebola, don't go to Africa or Texas. I think they're actually pretty good. Anyways. Besides the obvious way of traveling, for example, according to the Mayo Clinic preventative article, they state that in order to prevent from getting the disease, to not travel to places that are known for getting the disease. Africa being the most obvious. And then to avoid coming into contact with people that have the disease, and then just to follow, the instructions for infected stuff. And then if you follow these steps, you shouldn't come in contact with the disease, and you should be fine. So now that you know the brief history and everything, Ebola has been around since 1976. A lot of people believe that it just popped out of nowhere and that the end of the world is going to happen because a lot of people were dying. But that's not true. It has been around for a very long time. So now that you have a better understanding of the disease, I hope that you will be more cautious when it comes to traveling. And now first I discussed the history, then I went on to the fun stuff, the symptoms and the treatments, and then I went on to the preventative care about it. So next time when there is a disease that is threatening the livelihood of our race, just do a little research, because research is so much fun. And if you do come into contact with a disease and you survive, you may just end up meeting the president, like this lucky lady.